Thanks for tuning into this edition of Mocs News. I'm Ryan Brooks, and I'm gathered by our fellow Moc, McClendon Curtis, who was just signed to the Las Vegas Raiders. So, McClendon, what can you tell me about how your experience has been at UTC thus far and how it's impacted your journey?
I would say UTC has been great. Personally, for me, I've made a lot of connections with academics and obviously in the sports area. And I just wanted to be one more than an athlete, as people usually, the cliche that we say. I wanted to reach out there and kind of build relationships, and I feel like I've done that. I feel like a lot of the UTC staff are family, and that they've helped me, one, obviously get my first degree, but also I just completed my second degree. So that was an amazing thing, and I never thought I would be able to do.
Incredible. And you just got back from camp and you're kind of just transitioning into this whole, NFL world and industry. So how's it been kind of going through the conditioning and being away from your family? How's that been on you?
Be honest with you, that first day, first week was really hard. Being from Chattanooga, being in school, in high school, then obviously college being here, it was hard just to leave what you're used to.
Yeah.
And at first I was like, man, I called my dad the first time. I said, hey, I got my master's degree. This may not be my thing right now.
Yeah.
But it was just because I had to adjust and just honestly enjoy my journey that I'm going on. And it's once I've gotten comfortable in everything, it's been really good to me.
And that is so good to hear. So I want to go ahead and name some of your accomplishments. So you were first team All-Southern Conference honors, second team All-American honors, and then you have the SoCon Jacobs blocking trophy. And then you were also just a staple on the Dean's List with a 4.0. So, you kind of got it going on. So what is the thing that has pushed you? How have you stayed the course?
For me personally, I always tell myself, hey, look, you got to give yourself the best chance, the best opportunity to be successful. You only get one chance, and I've never gotten the chance to be on the Dean's List or 4.0. So I was like, hey, let's see what that's like. So I wanted to do that, and I did it multiple times, and I was, one, proud of myself, but two, I just wanted to show people, hey, I'm just not a football player. Yeah. Like I'm educated. I want to be educated, and also I want to continue to grow myself, not in just football, but in life.
Absolutely. So with that being said, do you think that UTC has provided you with the correct resources to get you to where you are to be this successful?
Personally, I feel like they have. It's definitely changed and grown since I've been here when I got here in 2017. And I feel like things have gotten only better and are going to continue to get better.
Every clip I've seen of you, everyone's talked about your authentic character that you exude, and that plays a big part into everyday life. And there's a quote from Maya Angelou's: people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. So, where do you think that part of yourself comes from?
I feel like it's just being around my dad, who he helped raise me. Basically, he raised me. He was a pastor at my church, and just seeing him around people, one, and two, just I think honestly, I personally took it on a little bit, but then from that point, I just go beyond. I feel like I never meet a stranger, and I feel like also you always have to be kind to people until
Absolutely.
you see a different side of it. But for me, I'm always happy, good vibes, and just want to make people feel comfortable around me.
And that goes into giving back. And I know you talked about giving back at the YMCA, and how does it make you feel being able to get back to so many young people and impact their lives in such a great way?
I feel like it's a great thing, honestly. Being in the YMCA as a camper, then being a summer counselor, and now I get the opportunity just to come in and see their faces and like, oh, McClendon, Mr. McClendon, or they call me Sully. We kept names one year, but they'll be like, Mr. Sully, what you doing? House football? Oh, we're going to come watch you play this year. Just seeing them smiling like, hey, I want to be like you. I want to do what you do. And, just seeing that, one, it just makes you like, hey, all right, people are actually watching you. But two, also at the same time, like, it just makes you happy to see someone wants to follow your leadership.
So in a few days, you've got Big Kurt's football camp coming up. It's July 8th.
Mm-hmm.
So, how did you get that started? What came about?
I was literally sitting in the hotel room. I've been in the last month, and I called a lady by, her name is Nikki Bryant, and she works at the YMCA. And I was like, hey, can you help me put this camp together? and we got the ball rolling. I found coaches and volunteers, and she started helping me get sponsors. And from that point, it's just the ball was rolling. We got along with my agency, and they created us a website for my signups and registration, and everything like that. And here we are. We're about to kick it off Saturday. As of I feel like yesterday we were at 116. Today we got 136.
Wow. And that is just so awesome. Also, you're not just cooking it up on the field, you're also cooking it up in the kitchen. So for those of you that don't know, he has a page called Whipping with Kurt. And, how has that passion evolved over time for you?
Man, it's done me well financially when I was in college. That's how I kind of like get by with the extra cash. But two, just bringing everybody together. That's one of the biggest things for me. It brought my teammates together, people that never even met football guys. Just, would walk into our dorm room and they'll smell the food and sit down, eat, get a plate, and, just having that connection with people. That's one that helped. And also, two, now everyone's like, you got to make this. Like yesterday for the 4th, I smoked some chicken wings. And I'm always trying new stuff, trying to experiment.
Now, this was the smoked Cajun lemon pepper ranch wings. Yeah, see, you didn't bring me any today, so I'm not gonna hold you on that though.
Yeah, so look, the crazy thing, some of those things, like I've made those type of wings before, but fried, and it's a lot easier, but smoking them and getting that flavor in there, it's a different story. So it was good.
Glad to hear. And also, you talked about how people mistake your first name for your last name, your last name for your first name. So does that still happen to you occasionally?
Yeah, it does. Everywhere. Even the government messes up.
Really?
So I just, if people say, hey, what's your name? I'm like, Kurt. And because one, people couldn't say McClendon at first. Oh. And now they were like, oh, your name, I've been thinking your name's Curtis this whole time. Well, like my name's McClendon. So you have that balance, but I was like, either one is fine. I guess since they're both a first name in a sense. So it's fine.
So when you were going into the draft, was this the team that you originally had handpicked that this is where I wanted to be, or did you have another team in mind?
Honestly, I thought I would be taken off the board on day 2, day 3,
wow.
But things don't happen like you always think they will. So I had the opportunity to actually pick where I want to go. And, a lot of times it's a lot better for you in the end because they actually may need you more than just the team that's drafting you to get you. So I, heard the offer. I had a former UTC coach there that coaches in their defense. And I decided to go to Las Vegas.
Awesome. And so with this being said, you get into where you are going pro, all these experiences, all your peers. How do you feel right now in the position that you're in? And what do you want to share to the UTC community to encourage them that there is something greater and there is more to do with your life?
One of the things I would say, regardless of getting the opportunity to be in the NFL and all that great stuff, I always tell people I'm the same person at the end of the day. Same person, the same McClendon you can walk up to or joke around with. But also at the same time, don't limit yourself because one, you don't like to create conversation. Because one day you never know who's going to own a business. You don't know who they know.
Absolutely.
And when you create that conversation, it gives you a chance to, one, have a job you've been wanting. And then two, is just like, hey, we got a friendship. So that's one of the biggest things, be friendly, make yourself friendly, and don't have that attitude of where it's like, oh, woe is me, or I don't have any success coming my way. Like, go find the success. Put yourself around people who are successful. Chase it. Like, that's one of the biggest things I did. I want to chase it. So.
Absolutely, and I love hearing that answer. So it's no question that you're a dominant player and you don't shy away from competition. And if they look at the Illinois game and the Kentucky game, they see that. So, me, with that being said, it's kind of like you were just plowing through the field like a bowling ball on game night, So with that being said, I know that you have worked really, really hard for this moment. And I have no doubt that you could start this year for sure. Because I feel like you would put the work in and you seem like a really genuine person. So I wish you the best. And I know that the school wish you the best and your family wish you the best.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here with me today. And that's this edition of Mocs News.